At james.crid.land, I'm James Cridland, the radio futurologist. This week, Google Podcasts, friend or foe to radio?
Okay, Google, play me some Afrobeats.
Sure. Here's a Spotify playlist called The Sound of Classic Afrobeats.
The radio industry has been slowly incorporating podcasts into its mix, both as a useful way of promoting some of our key talent and increasingly as a way to get closer to clients by producing branded podcasts for them. And increasingly, sales teams are representing podcast networks as well as radio stations. Now, last week we were handed a gift from Google as the search engine finally got into podcasting in a big way. They finally launched their podcasting app, Google Podcasts, and it's already installed in hundreds of millions of Android phones. And this is important because Android represents over 80% of the global market in smartphones. And even in strong Apple countries like the US and Australia, Android still has around a 50% share. Even now, 3/4 of Americans don't listen to podcasts, so proper inbuilt Android support is a significant doorway to making podcasting a mass media, something that's been eluding the industry for a while. Part of the issue with podcasting has been that podcasters have had one simple place to link to on Apple, which is guaranteed to work on any Apple iPhone or iPod Touch, but now we've the equivalent for Android phones. A link to play a podcast on Google Podcasts will, on an Android phone, just work. The podcast app is part of the Google Search app, which is installed on every new Android phone. And additionally, Google have added a few Google Smarts. First, the app itself has recommendations in it, as you'd expect, but they're based on your listening. So I listened to one episode of this.
Why have I got to go around some strangers? Eddie McGuire's not doing that. Fifi's not doing that. Why have I got to go around someone's house and pick up their manky old second-hand dirty couch?
That's Christian O'Connell's breakfast show from a radio station in Melbourne, and it recommended other podcasts I might enjoy, including this.
Carl is fascinated by that quote I once told him that Wittgenstein said, if a lion could speak English, you wouldn't be able to understand it because your cultural references would be so different. And as you know, Carl couldn't get it. He'd be going, well, I think I would understand a lion. He was going, I know what sort of day it's had. What did you mean by that?
I just mean, I kind of know what a lion gets up to.
That's Ricky Gervais's show from Sirius XM. Probably the most interesting step is that a Google web search now highlights podcasts with a little play button, and that allows frictionless listening directly from a search result. So if you search for anything you're interested in, you might get audio as well as a web page. And all of this leads to the inevitable question, is a significant addition to the podcast landscape like this going to erode radio listening? Or is it a great opportunity, allowing on-demand radio in the form of podcasting to reach many more people? Well, in any case, if you need it, I've written an FAQ about Google Podcasts and what your station should do next over on my podcasting newsletter website at podnews.net. And you can get my weekly newsletter at james.crid.land. And until next time, keep listening.